Hey guys, it's Max. So today I decided that I would share with you guys my coming out story. What brought this on is last night I was up late and I was just scrolling through the coming out videos, and it made me realize how important all of those videos were during my coming out process and how helpful YouTube was to me 3 or 4 years ago when I was in the closet and had so many questions and didn't have a place to turn to, and YouTube was the place that I went to. So I figured I would share and contribute to this great resource, this great online resource, and hopefully help you guys out if you're going through the same thing right now. So most people wonder, like, when did you know you were gay, or when did you start feeling different from everyone? I mean, elementary school easily, like 3rd, 4th grade, when I was outside on the playground, I would be playing, but I didn't want to be playing soccer or anything. I was playing house or like things like that on the playground, mostly with girls, and I didn't think anything of it. And I went to a really small private school anyway, so we all kind of were just friends and nothing was weird to anyone at that time. And I would just play with whatever, and back then we were all just kids and none of it really mattered. And then I started to notice I was different when I was my best friend at the time. He was at my house. We were having a sleepover like we did often. This was 6th or 7th grade. And I remember we were in my pool and we were talking about just school life, and he started mentioning a girlfriend or a girl that he had liked, and he was talking about her, and I was agreeing with him, but in my head I was like, I don't want her. I'm not envisioning a girl to go on a date with or have my first kiss with. I was imagining a boy. So that's when I started to really notice that I was different and not attracted to girls. And I remember 7th grade, like PE class, we were in the dressing rooms and I was in the back corner because I was scared and nervous all the time. And this was my first time in a big public school with 7th grade. I went from a class size of 4 to a class size of 350. So it was a big change for me, and the first day of PE I saw a guy and I was attracted to him. I had a crush on him, and I remember I couldn't share that with anyone, and that's when I started compressing everything. And 7th grade, I was pretty lonely. I didn't have that many friends. I was shy from coming from a small private school, and that midway through 7th grade is when the bullying really started. Mind you, I didn't have the worst bullying experience ever, but I was the butt of some jokes for a while. There was a group of guys in particular who would just bash me all the time. Names like Max Gay or Fag, all that not good stuff, but just all those negative terms. And I would ignore it, or I'd brush it off, or I'd put my head down and walk past him as fast as I could, because what do you do with that? You run away. I mean, it's a group of, at the time I thought, huge 8th graders, and I was a scrawny little 7th grader. So 8th grade, it was similar. The bullying kept, but I started being more comfortable with whatever I was doing, so I just started making friends. I found lots of my friends I took a semester-long drama class, and that's where I started finding my group of friends. They didn't care about anything. They weren't judgmental, typical middle schoolers. They didn't care. And then once I got into high school, ninth grade is when I found my first set of real friends. That's when I found my core friend group. I still talk to a few of them today, but ninth grade is when I really said, hey, I have a group of friends. And it was great. We went to movies and everything. I still didn't tell them I was gay, and I didn't say, oh, that guy's hot, or oh, and that was okay here, but I could be what I was at the time. I could be myself, I could have my hand gestures, I could do all of that, and they didn't say anything or do anything. It just was all really good. And in ninth grade, I started dressing the way I wanted to. I stopped wearing the frumpy hoodie all the time, and I started wearing my V-neck sweaters and all that stuff that in your ninth grade you don't wear that if you're a guy, I mean. And like whatever I wanted to wear, and people would make snarky comments, and then I stopped caring if they made snarky comments. I just went on with it. Sophomore year rolled around, and sophomore year is when I found one of my first best friends, and her and I got really close. We hung out all the time. We were at each other. We were basically attached at the hip. And she was the first person that I told. Mind you, at the time I still couldn't voice it. I remember we were on Facebook. We had it was Christmas break. I had just painted our room. We just painted my room. It was a big project. We were having fun. And she had just left, and I messaged her on Facebook saying, hey, I have something to tell you, but I just can't bring myself to put it into words. And then she's like, what is it? And I was just like, I can't type it. I know that you know what I'm telling you, and I was basically, you know what it is, type it out, and I can say yes or no, but I didn't have the strength for some reason to type that I was gay. But she messaged me, are you gay? I was like, yes. We had a good talk after that, and it was awesome. It was one of the most relieving moments probably in my life. Having that first weight lifted off of your shoulders, and someone just accepting it and basically just shoving it off like it was nothing was awesome. I mean, just pure acceptance, and I felt this new strength inside of me, like, hey, I'm not gonna be stuck in the closet forever. I'm not gonna have the fear to be myself in the future. And then a few weeks later, I was shopping with my mom out of town, and I walked into the hotel room after hanging out with one of my friends, the majority of my friends were girls, and my mom, I walked in the room with shopping bags and stuff, and my mom was just like, Max, are you gay? First thing that she came out of her mouth when I walked in the room, and I was just horrified. I was just like, deer in the headlight thing. And then we sat down, talked about it, and she's like, I don't care. I love you. You're my son. This is awesome. Tomorrow we'll go shopping. So, I mean, it couldn't have been an easier experience coming out to my mom. And I would not have told her, definitely would not have told her then. Her coming to me was the only way that she would have found out, probably while I was in high school. I was not planning on telling her in high school, just because I still didn't have that the courage in myself to tell my parents. And then sophomore year, those were basically the two people, and most of junior year, those were the two people that I was out to. Junior year, I started getting really involved in my school. I started student government, and ran for offices, started doing club work and stuff like that. And I started really finding myself and being comfortable with myself and being comfortable being myself around other people. And that's the first time that I felt like an individual that could grow as an individual and be what I was and what I was born to be, because you're put on this earth to be the one person you were destined to be and not conform to what everyone's going along with, like what society expects of you. Like, if you're not yourself, who are you? And junior year I started realizing that. And then senior year I again ran for student government, and I was class president, and I would basically climbed up the slippery ladder of the social high school hierarchy, the chain, whatever it's called. But I still was not out to the school. I had come out to some more friends senior year, but my school, being in Idaho, had lots of very religious kids, which I respected, and being the head of their class, I didn't want to make any of them feel uncomfortable by being openly gay and basically leading all the class activities and planning everything. So I kept myself closeted all of last year, and now that I think about it, I don't know why. I mean, my reasoning made sense back then because I felt it wasn't fair to them if they weren't accepting of it and they had to put up with it for a year. Like having their class president be gay and it's them not accepting it. I just didn't feel it was fair for me to do that to them for some reason. That was my own weird mental thing. And then now I'm just like, why would it have mattered? But yeah, I stayed closeted, and then this past summer I took everyone aside who I felt I would stay connected with after high school and told all of them, and some of them were very religious, and they were all completely accepting of it. I was shocked of how accepting everyone that I told was. It was amazing. I mean, another big weight lifted off my shoulders. I could be myself 100% of the time now. And now that I think about it, I feel like I just wasted my time in high school not being out. But at the time, that's what I felt safest for me, so that's why I didn't come out. But when you look at it from the other end of the hurdle, you'd wish you did it earlier, is what I've come down to. I mean, everyone has to come out in their own time, and it's a process. But when you jump the hurdle and you're at the other side, you realize, now that the world is evolving in the right direction and everyone's more accepting, how big of a deal it is to you, but how small of a deal it is to most people. Most people are just open arms, at least the ones I've ran into. You'd be surprised these days who's more accepting of it. I mean, if you're in a bad situation, don't come out until you feel ready, but turn to YouTube. I used that. It got me through some of the toughest times when I was getting bullied in 7th and 8th grade, and it really put me into perspective, and it made me hunker down and get through the worst of it. And I'm pretty sure I'm here because of YouTube, because that's just where you go to. It was easiest for me to go to. And I hope this video can help some of you. And just remember, you're on this earth to be yourself, so stop being someone else or being what people expect of you, and just go out and be who you are. You're only on this earth once, and just embrace every minute of it and just be yourself. And we're all of us, I'm sure I can speak for everyone on YouTube, we're here for you guys if you have questions or concerns, because we've all been through it. We know the pain and the hardship and the struggle that comes with the whole process of coming out. So feel free to message me. I'm here. And I hope this can help someone. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.